Joining us now, House Energy and Commerce Committee Chairman Brett Guthrie. Chairman, great to see you.
Hey, it's great to be with you guys tonight.
So you have moved forward and passed out of committee this Ratepayer Protection Act. Was this necessary for the federal government to act on it?
Well, so here's the issue. We're competing with China. So a lot of people are focused on data centers, and that's important. But we've been talking to stakeholders, and we have to beat China to control the information that flows around the world. Either our values are going to control it or Chinese totalitarian values are going to control it. In order to win the AI battle, we have to have access to data in the data centers. So we've talked to stakeholders that do AI, but the most important stakeholders to us are our constituents. And we don't want them to have to foot the bill. And so what we do is that we actually direct federal resources to help states put in place their ratepayer protection pledge. So it's not a federal government one-size-fits-all. But there's been these calls for moratoriums. You just said New York State, you had New York State on earlier, they're raising their pay. They've also passed a moratorium, which is just isn't helpful. We're about 6 months ahead of China in AI, people predict. If we had a year moratorium, let's say that's nationwide, and we get behind China, we'll never catch up, and it'll just continue it will continue China's march to be a superpower that we have to defend.
But getting back to what Burgum said, I mean, blue states love to shoot themselves in the foot. They hire these people as their representatives who come out with policies that hate, apparently, they hate jobs and they hate saving money because all the costs go up and all the jobs go away. They did that with fracking. Now they're doing it with data centers. Shouldn't they just be forced to stew in their own pot? Let these data centers go to red states that are more business friendly and that don't have the taxing power that the blue states think that they need. Why not just leave it up to the states for that?
Well, we have a big one coming to Kentucky, but what we're trying to do is at the federal level, help states implement their ratepayer protection pledges at the state level. So we're not sending a federal statute out. We're assisting states to do so. And you're right, Kathy Hochul, Governor Hochul served in Congress with me when she was here. When she signed the executive order for the moratorium, she said, well, our energy rates are already too high, so why add data loads on? Well, the reason they're too high is exactly what Secretary Burgum said. But the other thing is, I went to school in New York. I actually went to West Point back in the day. And if you get above New York City, there's a lot of communities that have struggled. It's the old kind of Great Lakes Rust Belt in some of those areas. And I'm not a New Yorker, and let those businesses come to my area. We welcome that. But it's really not fair to people in those communities that are economically disadvantaged to say, if this is the industry of the future, which many people predict it will be, just think the state of New York has decided to take itself out of the ballgame. But Kentucky, we have local communities that decided not to participate in data centers. I think that's their right to do so. But as a state, we have communities, one in my district that's getting a $19 billion 20-year investment for Anthropic. It's going to completely change economically that community. The school system in that community will be the wealthiest school system per capita in the Commonwealth. And I predict that other county officials and other states are going to be looking at that area to say, wow, how can we participate in that as well? But we don't want the local citizens footing the bill. We want the data centers doing that.
Congressman, a suggestion from outside the Beltway and from outside politics. Tell that community to take the property taxes and the taxes that Anthropic will pay, and you give a property tax rebate to the people of that community. And people across that fine state of Kentucky and elsewhere will be clamoring for these data centers. I know that's one idea that we heard from the candidate for Senate in Michigan, former Republican congressman.
Well, the county executive, Judge Roberts, in that area is a good friend of mine, and he's talking about doing exactly what you say. There's probably going to be $1 billion worth of property value, not property tax revenue, of property value. It'll almost double the value of the property in that community. So they are looking at opportunities to give refunds back. They're putting in an old aluminum smelter site. And so there's also a 3% utility tax. So think of taking about a gigawatt of power. But the smelter was there. And I remember asking him, says, is this replacing revenue you already had? He goes, oh no, look how industrial America, you go to Frankfurt, Governor Beshear, and you get a tax break. They weren't paying these taxes. So old industrial America's model is you go to the state, you get tax breaks, you get everything abated, and we'll keep the jobs here as long as you keep giving us the tax breaks. The smelter left, the data centers coming, it's going to pay its full bill. And if data centers don't pay its full bill, I would tell communities not to bring them in, because there are enough businesses that need the data centers that are willing to pay what is fair, and the communities are going to, instead of paying, the communities are going to actually benefit.
Right. See, you're selling it. Where are the tech companies selling it? Chairman Brett Guthrie, great to see you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Spread that wealth.